Welcome to the Sage Thought Leadership Podcast, building experiences that connect, remove friction, and deliver insights. Well, hi everyone, and welcome to our podcast. I'm Ed Kless, and with me today is Carrie Natali. Carrie is a CAE and is the Illinois CPA Society Senior Director of Planning and Governance and the Senior Director of the CPA Endowment Fund of Illinois. Carrie is currently a member of the American Society of Association Executives, the Association Forum, and the Association of Fundraising Professionals. She was formerly named one of the Association Forum's 40 Under 40 up-and-coming non-for-profit professionals in 2016 and was honored with the Association Forum's Inspiring Leader Award in 2020. Welcome to the Sage Thought Leadership Podcast, Carrie.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Well, first off, why do you do what you do?
Well, Ed, I love the nonprofit space because I wanted to help others, provide access and opportunity to others. And I like the fundraising angle, take from people who've, done well in their careers and support those in need. So I like what I do here. I've been here 12 years. I like the people I work with, and the environment's great.
And one of the things that we wanted to talk to you about today is a recent report that was released called a CPA Diversity Report, Uncovering the Barriers to Success. Tell us a little bit about what your initial findings are there.
Yeah, so just a little bit of background. We have been offering an internship preparation program to racial and ethnic diverse college students who were interested in accounting for the past 10 years. And so in those 10 years, many of our program alumni have been, placed in successful internships and have found success in their career. But we started to hear a little bit more from our alumni about unsuccessful experiences and negative experiences. And so we wanted to do some research to learn really what they were experiencing when they left our program and transitioned into the workplace, so that we could identify new programs and resources for them. And so we started as just a survey to help us with our own program development. And then when we got our first findings from our survey, we decided to go dig a little bit deeper, and we did a second survey and then did interviews. And so the purpose of the survey started with, developing our own additional programs and resources to how can we share what's happening with others so that we can learn and adjust from what we were hearing.
And talk a little bit about the methodology. How did you begin the research? Who did you talk to?
Yes, so we had about 260 students in the 10 years who completed the program. I think 170 or so completed the first survey, and 159 of them actually completed the survey because they had at least one internship, so that some of the students who started the survey couldn't finish. Most of the participants of our research had less than 3 years of experience, and 70% of them started in public accounting. And so initially, where we decided to dig deeper was we selected, I think 5 or 6 people to interview who represented different backgrounds, so different races, different levels of work experience, different work environments, but also disclosed to us in the surveys that they had professional barriers that they attributed to their race. And so when we did those interviews, we wanted to focus with them on their personal experiences. So I think the survey was mostly open-ended as well. So in our report, you'll find a lot of their stories coming through, not a lot of charts with survey responses.
So talk a little bit about it. The subtitle is, again, Uncovering the Barriers to Success, and you mentioned that race was one of those. Were there others, or was the primary one that you focus on? And if so, just unpack that a little bit for us.
Yeah, so we focused our research mainly on racial barriers. So what they felt was specific to because of their race. So let's see. So even though our research was not reflective of all diverse individuals and not even all of our alumni of our program, we decided to focus specifically on challenges they faced because of their race, so that we can uncover how we can address those challenges.
And what were some of the thoughts on how to
Yes,
address them?
so we came up with, it's a lot to uncover reading their responses and hearing their thoughts on the interviews. But what we did, and all of this was confidential, and so all of their employers and their themselves are all removed. But we did record our interviews, and our editors really helped us uncover three major themes. So one being, how they felt they didn't share experiences with their peers, supervisors weren't feeling belonging, feeling overworked. They attributed that their race, the lack of diversity in the environment made it challenging for them to succeed or want to stay. The first major theme was about the lack of diverse representation and inclusion, and how we're trying to increase diversity and inclusion, but when we're recruiting them, they felt that they felt like they were just a number and not really valued. And so that's kind of what we heard from them and how we categorized that first theme. The second theme, which was a little bit I guess different than what we talk about a lot, was about that they felt handicapped by their backgrounds. And so what they talked about there with us, what they shared in their survey responses, is this, felt when they compared themselves to their white peers was the question. They felt their upbringing, their past jobs, their schooling, their academic prep didn't really prepare them to be on the job. And so when we dug deeper in that, they talked about this lack of confidence and feeling behind, and not really knowing what other people seemed to know already when they started. And so that section was that theme was pretty telling to me, because we saw very clearly from them the schools they went to and some gaps that they felt when they started working. And hadn't heard that from our students before, but it came out pretty clearly in this. Then our third theme that we broke out was, unfortunately, that sentiment of not feeling prepared and having that same knowledge seemed to go unaddressed. And so the third theme was they felt that they weren't getting adequate feedback or training and development opportunities that they needed to succeed. That training was just a little bit more generic, or wasn't helpful to get them where they needed to be.
Review and subscribe by searching your podcast player of choice for Sage Thought Leadership Podcast.
I felt like I was getting good feedback, and then in my performance review, it was totally different. I was blindsided, or I didn't even know I wasn't doing well and I was let go. And so stories of that were pretty concerning that we wanted to share.
And we have an exit question, Carrie, that we ask all of our guests, and that is, who is a hero of yours and why are they a hero?
Oh, Ed, I would say when thinking about this report and my work with the Illinois CPA Society, I would say a hero, a mentor, a coach of mine would be Tom Dolan. He's been a mentor to me who has helped build my confidence, has helped make me feel welcome and included, helped me see my potential. And he's taught me ways to help other people. And so I would refer to him as a hero.
And lastly, Carrie, how can somebody contact you?
I'm at natalek@icpas.org. And you can find the report on our website, www.icpas.org.
And we will put a link to that in the description so that people can grab it. Carrie Natali, Senior Director of Planning and Governance, thanks so much for being a guest on the Sage Thought Leadership Podcast.
Thank you.